Peace. In fact, I don't know if it's gonna show up on a video like that, but I just kind of froze up like that because I pressed the button and it froze up on me. So if this video start off with me just kind of staring at the screen like this for 30 seconds, that's what it is. But anyway, peace. Happy now. Now is a vibrator, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now, we're going through a lot of inner purging, cleaning out all those old thought forms and ideas and vibrations that no longer serve us. Purging that out of the body, in which I always speak on how black obsidian is good with that. As far as bringing up the shadows, bringing up the darkness, the secrets, so they could be shared. But right now, what I want to speak to is, for the most part, our inner universe, manifests as outside of us. So if you find yourself coming across, people that may seem like they're, trying to throw you off track, they are a manifestation of, the things that are inside you that have been trying to throw you off track. And what I'm speaking to is like you're gonna be experiencing, like, so right now in this time, you may be being approached by a lot of what we would call agents, just for lack of a better word, and when I use the word agent, in my definition of it, it's not necessarily like, an actual FBI and CIA agent or somebody who's actually an agent for some type of physical corporation. But it's more along the lines of speaking to, just anything that tries to deter you from knowing what the true, anything that tries to deter you from knowing the truth, and with the truth being like your true existence as a vibration on a vibrational human experience that's here, that could manifest anything and everything, what I'm saying? So there's no template for what you should be manifesting. That's why, the matter of fact, the template is that we go through our hearts. That's why everything is like, clean ourselves up and go through our heart, so that way whatever we, by manifesting whatever we want, it's gonna still be something that, in essence, for lack of a better word, that's beneficial. I was gonna say that's good for everybody, but we won't stay away from the good and bad words. But you're indirectly create something that's beneficial for everybody, because you done clean yourself out. You're operating from, all the chakras aligned, you're operating out of unconditional love. So by doing, because when some people think of like, everybody gets to do what they want, manifest whatever they want, like, wait, hold on, but that's people, again, being in a fear mind frame, not only, and you reflect that. So if you kind of fearful of that type of world, that's because it's still stuff in yourself that exists that wouldn't allow for you to operate in in that situation. Like, so say when the idea of like manifesting whatever you want, you thinking like, well, nah, man, we can't have everybody manifesting what they want, because I think about myself, I rob this, or I do that to somebody, or this, what I'm saying, like, I might possibly do. So reason why, as a person, you may be scared of somebody doing, living in a world where everybody could do what they want and what they please, is because you're thinking from a fear-based place, or you're thinking too in a place from like what you would do if you had that freedom, which would probably be some malicious things. So that's why you scared of a world like that, because you still got some of that, inside of you. That's back to, again, being reflections. Like we reflect, or should I say, the outside world reflects what's going on inside of us. And like I always bring up, we are figments of each other's imaginations. Like the moment a person go to thinking about crystals and how much they like the way dreads look, or say for instance a female in the grocery store, she's sitting there thinking about, she's thinking about Bob Marley songs and smoking herb and just found out about crystals, want to know more about them, you know. So as she's sitting in the grocery store having these thoughts, you know, again, we figments of each other's imagination. So, you know, I'm walking down the street. I'm headed towards the beach. But then all of a sudden, something like, you know what? Nah, stop by the store before you go to the beach, you know. And so as my higher self informed me to go by the store, I go to the store where the female work at, where the female that's, you know, that's just thinking about Bob Marley and, you know, how she like dreads and crystals, stuff like that. Then I walk in there and she see me and she's like, oh shit, that's some synchronicity. I was just thinking about all these things. And then look at this brethren walk in the store, you know what I'm saying? Figments of each other's imagination. Like in the example I'm using, her thought form was more stronger than my urge to go to the beach. So as she throwing out, you know, those wavelengths, that energy, those vibes, my little outpost, my little wireless, you know, little bodysuit, you know, picked up on those energies and was like, you know, hey, hold on, let me go to the store, you know. And I end up being a little, you know what I'm saying, again, a little figment of her imagination, you know. And of course, you know, we have our own unique vibration, and we're real as far as, you know, having little physical existence. You know, we're not just straight up figments of each other's imagination, but we are, you know, it's the paradox of it. We aren't, but we are, you know, like, because just like I could be a figment of somebody, you know, imagination, somebody could be that for mine as well, you know. But, you know, it's just it's that continuous vibe. And speaking to that, you know, back to the agent vibes, you know, you're gonna come across a lot of people who's gonna be, you know, coming at you trying to pull you down. Like in most cases, it's gonna be people who trying to get you to focus outside of what you really want, you know, and people trying to get you to focus outside of what's beneficial to your soul growth. They may seem or be called, or what, you know, some will call conscious people, but then they still operate in a way that's, you know, that's unconscious in essence, you know, where they don't know about how the subconscious mind creates this whole world. So they, you know, they having you trying to focus on some things that's, you know, dogmatic or whatever, you know, and in general, just somebody who don't acknowledge that the universe is like, you know, all, you know, that all is mine. Like, but if you start to come across these characters, realize that, you know, it's a part of your inner universe, you know, that part of you that's scared of the growth, that part of you that doesn't want to, you know, that part of you that's the caterpillar that don't want to see the butterfly, you know. That's the part of you that's, you know, manifesting outside of yourself. So if like, say for instance, I'm dealing with an energy where I'm making sure that I'm you know, living abundant and not seeing money as a bad thing, like continuously growing in that area. So every now and then, like when I'm going through those little, you know, growths, somebody you know, come at me in a way that's trying to get me to suffice for something lower, like, you know, oh yeah, man, maybe you should just you know, say for instance, just for examples, this one don't apply to me right now, but like something like, oh, you should just get unemployment, or you should just, you know, like people who come around bringing up the vibe of settling, like, you know, and it's like, oh, I ain't settling for nothing, like, and it's two things that I'm being asked to step up to the plate with, as far as, like, you know, seeing those reflections, because again, those people who coming at me like that, they being reflections of that inner doubt that's inside of me, you know. So by confronting those people and standing up to those people in a certain type of way, I'm confronting energies that's inside of me as well, you know. But like with people trying to get me, like, to, or say for instance, like, oh, you know, you could just get your a little car that costs $300, this and that, you know. Now, as I'm saying this, nothing is wrong with, you know, growing and taking things as they come to you, but I'm speaking more of along the lines of, particularly with my growth and where I'm at with it, where it's like, all right, nah, I'm limitless. I'm not trying to manifest something that I could probably go and work a 9 to 5 to get. You know, I'm not going to spend my time visualizing a geo prism, you know, when I rather drive a Tesla. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not, you know, and what's like for me in my journey, you know, that's my thing. Like, I'm about manifesting what I truly want. Like, and like, again, that vibe come to me, you know, in a test of somebody like, you know, oh man, you should just settle this, settle that, and it's like, nah, man, I'm going for the gusto, like, you know. And matter of fact, even down to where, you know, the universe again also teaching me how to state how I feel, you know, no matter what. Where I'd be like, you know, I have to tell that person, you know, nothing to the way you live and, you know, the way you want to do things, but I'm not selling for nothing. Like, I know that I'm source. I know that I deserve, you know, abundance. So that's how I'm coming. That's my approach to it, you know, having to stand up in those moments. So, you know, with that being said, it's just like right now, just standing up to your inner agents and your outer agents. And I'm using the word agents, but this is not to bring up not even awareness, you know, no fear or no awareness of something outside of you, you know. Again, this you know, whatever agent, whatever person that may be manifesting outside of you, this and seem like they coming at you to throw off your growth, this is a manifestation of that donut you ate the other night, you know, and the little harmful soy or sugars that was in the, you know, just manifested outside of you as something that's trying to hinder your growth too. You know, so it's like, as above, so below, you know, it's going on inside of you and it manifests outside of you. So, you know, and to the universe is like this. If you're allowing it inside of you, then you must want to see it around you, you know. So when you think to them points of like wanting to wonder, like, well, why this person, you know, like I do my meditation, this and that. I mean, yeah, you might be doing good in one part, but if you eating healthy or allowing some unhealthy vibes, you know, within your temple somewhere else, then you're still gonna have those type of manifestations coming at you, you know, which will seem like something outside of you being an agent. Like, man, my mama was being, and that's the thing too. Like, it'll come from anybody, because that's the way the energy works. Like, this energy moves through, you know, these archons that's trying to keep us in the matrix. That energy will move through whoever's able body for it to tap into and move through. So whoever's vibrating on a lower frequency, just lower than most, you know, but just on a lower vibrational frequency, you know, they're able to tap into that person. So, you know, it'll be a situation where you think your closest partner, or, you know, your spouse, your family members, it seem like an agent trying to throw you off, but it's just, you know, again, it's it's a outer manifestation of something that's going on inside of you. And again, it's not them necessarily like consciously trying to be malicious. Now, in some cases, it could be them consciously being malicious in the essence of where, you know, those beings have noticed a little spot in their psyche where they could kind of take control of and manipulate. So if that person, say for instance, got a little bit of jealousy, you know, within them, then that archon could hop into that and then like activate some jealousy towards you within that person, you know what I'm saying? So even though, you know, that person may not consciously want to, you know, be jealous towards you or harm you, because they happen to be open to that darkness within them, you know, they happen to be flirting with that jealousy within, you know, something that archon got into there and tapped into it. So now they kind of like being jealous of you when normally they wouldn't even do nothing like that, you know. Again, you know, being bodies and vessels, again, that's why they call this a vessel, you know. It's a vessel for energy, you know. It's either you know, an energy that's from the lower vibrations that's trying to stay in the old construct. Because again, it's not about we're not fighting against no energies. That's another thing too to remember. You're not fighting against anything, you know. You just transmuting energy, and in essence, if it is a fight, the fight is just making sure you're taking care of yourself, and then that'll take care of the quote unquote fight, you know. But it's not you going against anything. It's you taking care of your inner universe, balancing out your inner universe, and then everything will balance outside of it, you know. It's not light against dark or masculine against feminine, you know what I'm saying? It's just a evolution, you know, of growing to a certain vibration, you know, and growing out of an old vibration. Neither one is bad or good. We just growing, you know. It is what it is. But again, you know, and right now too, like the aging vibe is gonna stick out like a sore thumb. So you're gonna catch like where normally where you wouldn't really catch it or be conscious of it, you're gonna catch where even the most subtlest of phrases of a person, you know, saying something or doing something where it's like damn, like they low key they saying something that's trying to throw me off of my spiritual path, you know. And again, that's just I think to the time when I thought like with the perfect example with the narcissist vibe, you know, and you know, with the covert narcissist, where not realizing, you know, like reason why I'm experiencing these, you know, this covert narcissist energy coming at me like that is because my universe, I'm being on the opposite side of that spectrum. I'm being prey in essence. I'm being codependent in a you know, in a, how I say, just in a low vibrational type of way, like I'm being codependent on somebody else. So I'm activating that narcissism within others. Back to like how I said, you know, where you could activate, you know, like where a person to become jealous towards you, like it'll get activated to where it's towards you, you know, because of something that's going on within you. Same thing with the narcissist vibe, where like I had my brethren, I'm thinking that my brethren, I'm like, damn, man, my brethren really like energy vamping me and coming at me on some, you know, covert narcissist vibe. But I had to realize, like, nah, you know, my codependent and, you know, weakling vibration, for like, you know, like that little weak vibe, codependent vibe, for lack of a better word, you know, it activated that narcissist vibe within my brethren. So it wasn't like he was maliciously like, I'm about to become covert narcissist in this bitch and, you know, and terrorize some shit. You know, like it wasn't like that. It's just that, you know, again, you know, we see how our energies just correlate with each other and like how energies occupy a certain space. But, you know, again, and what's funny is it's a codependent relationship in general with the narcissist and a person who seeks codependency or deal with codependency. Because matter of fact, it was me dealing with matter of fact being on my you know, the house of transition and, you know, staying with other people, and the universe was trying to show me like don't become too codependent in that situation, you know. And more so in the vibe of like for me it was like, don't deal with anything just because you're in somebody else's house. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, speak up. Like, if somebody may be doing something, you know, that you may disagree with or whatever, of course you don't go in nobody else's house dictating how they run their house. But, you know, it's like, speak up if something, you know, instead of just sitting there and eating it because you scared that, you know, you don't want to disrupt nothing because you want a place to stay. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, that codependent relationship, kind of like, all right, another perfect example of like activate, like, you know, in most cases is a woman to the man situation, but like a woman, you know, feeling weak and feeling like, you know, she don't deserve this, she don't deserve that, then she'll activate or attract a man who's gonna, you know, put his hands on her and, you know, and you know, wanna, you know, he got power issues, so he feel like he gotta beat on somebody to get power. So here it is that the lady feel weak, and then, you know, he feel weak too. That's why he gotta, you know. Matter of fact, what's funny is the polar opposites is still one and the same in essence, you know. It's just kind of like just two different sides of the spectrum, but one and the same. Where the female weakness is, two. Matter of fact, again, being in a situation, knowing you should go, knowing you should leave, but just stand for the security of some type of little situation. It's fake security. Again, that's why the universe, in my situations would, do something to chase my ass away, to show me like, bro, nah, man, you being a shell of yourself right now. Like, wake up, goddamn, But again, all our relationships are, again, manifestations or personifications of what's going on the inside. So as much as everybody, and that's why I if I didn't do it in my earliest of videos, I make sure I do it now all the time, like when we speak of energy vamps and stuff like that, to always remember to look within and make sure, if you're dealing with something outside of you, it's because something going on inside of you. So just make sure you're not doing nothing to attract these, quote unquote vamps that seem to be coming at you all the time. Because in one way or another, you saying, hey, I'm food, come over here, you know what I'm saying? And it's just being aware of, like, what you do, what your part is in this situation, because for the most part, again, everything outside, and that's another thing where I want to harp on, like, if anything from dealing with my videos, well, I don't care if I'm doing a video on whatever, like it could be whatever particular subject, in some way, form, or fashion, I'ma always try to get out into the how can I say, into the airwaves, that remember to program your subconscious, because all is mind, and everything manifests through our mind. And I forgot the other part there. but just like remembering, like, that main thing, or something else, it'll come to me as I'm speaking of that. Well, probably knowing all is mind and knowing that, knowing all is mind and knowing that everything outside of you is a manifestation of everything within you. Like, if you know those two things at all times, it will be impossible to get mad at people or get mad at the world, or feel like something outside of you is doing something to you, if you realize that all is mind and that everything outside of you is a manifestation of everything inside of you and its potential. Because somebody asked me, like, say for instance, like, there's something, and this is the thing too, like, we got to be real about the question. Like, this is a real question that somebody would ask, and somebody asked me that, like, say for instance, with me having a sexual orientation of liking women, and I say, like, everything outside of you is all inside you. And you look outside and you see people who obviously may have a sexual orientation that's different. Like, when we say everything exists in you, that's also potentially, you know what I'm saying? Like, potentially you could have had, you could have been a whatever the case may be, because I don't even want to get into all the different, because that could open up a whole nother box. But all the different situations for somebody dealing, having a homosexual vibe, but that potential, all those things could have potentially been you or happened to you, or whatever the case may have been, from fetal estrogen, for being a soul traveling, and all that different stuff, being androgynous, being whatever. Like it, you see, trying to stay away from, I still, what I was gonna say? Oh, the potential is all in you. So, say for instance, like, I'm not a killer. I never killed nobody. So, and I seen stuff about murder. Or I done, probably came across somebody that murdered somebody, and I'm not a murderer. But nah, you may have not murdered somebody in this lifetime or right now, but that potential lies within you. You know what I'm saying? The potential to be any and all things exist in everybody. In essence, that's the whole, like, the 99.9% of the dark matter that's inside the atom, that takes up the space in the atom. You know what I'm saying? Which in essence is the subconscious mind, that potential. the subconscious mind, or the depths, the watery depths of the feminine energy, the womb, that womb of creation represents potential. So, potentially, you could be any and all things, So that's what we mean by, the outer universe existing within you, Because, of course, as a thing, like, not your immediate, I forgot how I was going to say this. So I just back out of it. But anyway, in fact, maybe that's just a sign, because that's basically what I, want to share. And just again, remember that everything is mind. You could do anything that you put your mind to. If somebody program your subconscious to think, well, oh no, man, that it's gonna take this kind of loan, and you got to go through this. Somebody trying to, put you through that. And again, like what they made, that's an agent in essence, taking you away from your true purpose. But again, remember that agent is also a representation of something going on inside of you. So somewhere inside yourself, you doubting that you could, become an entrepreneur out of the blue. Like you're doubting that somebody could get lucky and win $1 million. You're doubting that, all these things could happen. So that doubt turns into a person manifested outside of you that's gonna be talking that same doubt, and it's your job to, free will, you do whatever you want, but in essence, you could stand up to that doubt, within yourself and outside of yourself, because that's all it is, is a manifestation of something going on inside of you, Like I be having to deal with that situation, Some people might have the idea of like, well, I want to, because say for instance, I'm a person like I want to be in nature and connect all the time, all the time, anytime. But I also want some type of shelter, some type of home, So, as I may brush shoulders with a lot of people that, got the little free, what's funny, universal frequencies. I'm in that middle space of being around all kind of vibes, but, I can, be around the people that's really on that, want to be on a nomadic lifestyle and giving things up type of vibe, but realizing that battle that's going on within myself, like me, dealing with certain, when you see yourself dealing with certain different walks of people, that operate different ways, that's your inner, you're going through the works in your inner universe. Like, all right, do I want to deal with abundance on this level or deal with it on this level? Do I want to, be nomadic? Do I really want a nice crib? Like, it's all those things, and you find yourself being around people that goes through those thoughts, you know what I'm saying? Like, one moment I might be hanging with somebody who's an entrepreneur and got, business on type of business. One day I might be hanging with somebody who's, with the nomadic vibes and, living out the bus or something, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, in which, again, seeing just the balance of, my inner universe just in general, but, that all is a personification of what's going on inside of you, But back to the point, like what somebody bringing up the, the nomadic outside vibes, and then I have to, because now I realize, like, all right, I really truthfully want a home. Like, my vibe is I want a home, and I want my van, and I want to travel the world while still having my little, my little home as an anchor, because that's another thing too. Manifesting abundance on a level where, you have your home to always go to. That way, sleeping outside, you always have that option, whether somebody would see it as crazy or not. I'd rather do it from that vibe to where, like, all right, I have my home now. If I want to go and sleep outside somewhere in Venice or somewhere anywhere, I could go do that. I could still have my house, have a home. And if that crazy urge, or not say crazy, but crazy in the sense of like going camping somewhere in the city, but but like if the urge to want to sleep outside hits me, I could go sleep outside. It could be that option. you know, while still having the abundance to, you know, have my home and be inside, of course, you know. But that's basically it. You know, checking my notes, making sure I hit all the spots on the notes. But you know, that's it. Just don't let your inner agent throw you off of your soul purpose. You know, that would be the ending messages. Don't let the doubt, the inner negativity, the inner pessimism, you know, stop you from being you to the fullest. You know, that little voice that wants you, well, you know, anything that's telling you to settle, you know. And what's funny, it's a thin line between settling and being practical. You know, I made a video about that a while back, like being practical could sometimes throw off your abundance, because being practical meaning just dealing with, you know, the bare minimum, you know, and not really like getting like the best, like, you know, like not getting the best car, the best phone, or the best this. Is like, well, just practical, like just whatever could just get the job done, you know. But and you know, dealing with that energy that could be like a little tricky space, you know, trying to, you know, being practical and dealing with abundance, because again, you're gonna find yourself, you know, feeling like you shouldn't spend money on the best one or this and that, because I could just be practical and get this, you know. But it's you know, for sure, I forgot where I was going with that. But that's definitely something I'm working on for myself. You know, it's again, just getting into that place of settling, that the inner agent that's trying to get you to settle. Like, we are gods, we are vibrations on a human experience. It's your divine right, it's our divine right to prosper. You don't have to settle for anything. So the fact that, you know, that you done talked yourself into settling into something, which manifested into some other people coming towards you trying to get you to settle for something, like, don't settle for anything. Like, you are here to have the fullest and most blissful life ever, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's nothing there to stop you but yourself, you know what I'm saying? But your own thoughts of settling for less, you know. And I don't know about you, but, you know, I don't want to settle. I've been on earth for 31 years, you know what I'm saying? I done dealt with the settling vibe long enough, you know. I want to see the other half of my life, like from the 31 earth-year-old vibe from here on out change. I want to see it different. I want to see enjoying life. I want to see self-love. I want to see abundance. And I'm going to see that. I am seeing that, you know. Like, that's the whole vibe. You know, and I'm not dealing with anything that's trying to tell me otherwise, you know, either. You know, like, that's what it is. You know, and that's where we get into that place where we gotta, you know, keep it real about what we want. And again, and to each his own on what we want. Some of us, again, may not, you know, just may have a different idea of what they feel they want to do, you know, or what's their desire to do in this, you know, in this life. Like, we all different in that. But another thing too, don't see desire as anything bad, because you could desire to not have desires. So for that vibe of feeling like, you know, that subconscious programming that most of us get from the Catholic Church, like, oh, you shouldn't have any wants or desires, you're being worldly and too materialistic, and that, man, you know what I'm saying? A person sitting down not having desires, their desire is to sit down and not have desires. Matter of fact, addictions, you know, you could be addicted to meditation, you could be addicted to high vibrations, you could be addicted to staying away from low vibration, you could be addicted, you know, addicted to your crystals, addicted to yoga, addicted to your breathing techniques. You know, there's addictions all over the place. There's desires all over the place. Choose the one that your soul really loves. That's the name of the game. Choose the ones that your soul really loves. So I think that should just, end on that note. But we're doing what we love, not settling for anything or anyone or any situation. Because say for instance, some of us know that we really would love to have that wealth. Like, because I look at myself, like, again, that's that negative aspect. Like, when I think about the money, that pessimism and that doubt come from a place of like, but nah, you're going to become too snobbish and all about the money. And look at what happened, like, with these people, the Illuminati, and you're going to get MK Ultra to this and that. And it's like, again, and that's where you see how those little things could fearmonger you, like all the little conspiracy vibes and all that. That's why I try my best do my best not to fall into those vibes, because I know I'm indirectly programming you just as much as CNN or some other people, you know what I'm saying? But, those vibes start to seep in, and, well, Tupac got killed and this and that. So now you scaring yourself away from your true soul purpose because, you on the outside looking in on some false evidence appearing real type of vibes, So now you're tricking yourself into thinking like you want to settle. Like, yeah, I want a slow life. I want to be poor. I want a life without money, and I want to, just live outside. And I want, you start to fall into the illusion of that's what you really want, because you're fearful of really just living your soul purpose out to the fullest, and this little fear scaring you away from it, but just gotta be aware of the, all those, again, those little inner agents coming outside of you and trying to, false evidence appearing real, anything trying to make you feel or be overly aware, that's the new, in fact, as a public service announcement, PSA, being aware is starting to become the new euphemism for fear, like I'm just being aware, and of course they do have awareness, some things you want to be awareness, but let's just say using the word awareness when used multiple times for the same subject is being used as a euphemism for fear, instead of using the word fear, instead of, you're feeling safe now because you're saying awareness. Like, you just gotta be aware of this and you gotta be aware of that. And like, nah, man, I ain't gotta be aware of no fucking concentration camps, because then I gotta focus on it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm focusing on it, that means I'm helping them manifest, locking my own ass up. Why would I help focus on keeping myself down? Like, why I'm gonna focus on shackles and chains when there's freedom I could focus on? And I had to, share that vibe with a brethren about an Instagram where, like, my Instagram posts of people, being fearmonger, some of the melanated people being fearmonger by all the, the little this shooting, that shooting. I mean, at this point, like, we are aware, like, somebody obviously don't like melanated people on this planet, and it's a, suppression of that energy. But again, let's focus on the world we want to see then, let's not continuously focus on, man, look at how they doing this, look at how they doing. Man, isn't it the same person that used to feed your babies to alligators? They're going to keep continuously doing that in some way, form, or fashion. Why are you being surprised? Sit down and do what you got to do. Do your work, Like, stop paying attention to that shit because you making that shit bigger and, and more. And then by talking about it and dealing with it, you creating it, you turn it into the subject of conversation for more people to focus on it. Because that's why our inner universe, it does a lot of work, Just say, for instance, that one small vibe of me not having that, like, so say, for instance, I don't deal with those vibes at all. So me not having those conversations, that's a big thing. Because say, for instance, just looking at how many times I've been somewhere and I've been talking about chakras and crystals, and I could feel the vibe of people passing by those conversations and really listening. Like, if they don't just stop and just like, oh, I just stopped because I'm interested in what you're talking about. So, So, what I'm focusing on also becomes the focus of others. You know what I'm saying? So, what I rather focus on and deal with would be something that's beneficial, for others. You know what I'm saying? Instead of something that's, having people focus in a place that don't serve them. And again, it's a thin line with a lot of these things, because it been times where the spirit moved me to speak on some of these little situations, but to speak on it with always holding that light of like, hey, this is all stuff to fear monger you, or to take your attention off of what you should be doing. But it comes those times, but it's very few. And again, to each his own on how we feel we should express ourselves on our platforms, because we all have different jobs. I feel like, it's some of us job to talk about so and so that might have, police shot another person, blah blah blah, or this or that happened over here. It's some of our jobs to make certain parts of the masses, aware of certain situations to a certain extent. But and then too, but it should be in the light of always, making people aware of, though, but we want to focus on, things like I don't want to focus on the trauma. I want to focus on the things that's going to get me away from the trauma. I don't want to focus on the color purple and Harpo. I want to focus on, Atlantis and Lemuria. You know what I'm saying? I want to focus on, crystals and, elevating my soul. I don't want to focus on another brethren got shot, last week. It does nothing for my soul to focus on that, and that's the whole thing of the subconscious programming vibe. What you're consuming, manifests into the physical. So it's another thing, just be aware. Be aware of what you're focusing on. I just made a video about that recently, about we're not trying to focus on the things that we don't want. You want to focus on the things that you do want. Now, if you do want a world where people are getting shot for no reason, if you do want a world where, racism is very strong and prevalent, if you do want a world like that, then focus on those things, and those things will continuously grow. But if you want to see a different world, then you continuously focus on, the solution. Because that's another thing too, where some people take that as, that turn the other cheek. No, that's not. Focus on the solutions for those problems. You know what I'm saying? Focus on what will bring about change for that situation. You know what I'm saying? Because people are you been taught the illusion of that you have to focus on that to change that. Like, yeah, I gotta sit here and be sad and be traumatized by little so and so getting shot, and and that's what's gonna change it. Like us standing around and shouting, picket signing, and then going back in our house and living like nothing happened in the next few months. Like that, it obviously doesn't do anything. That was the whole reason why they kind of like in essence had Martin Luther King, why they let him promote that little marching vibe in general, because they know that ain't the real way to liberate us. We are vibrations on a human experience. We are not humans, so we don't take care of this in a human type of manner. We taking care of this in a vibrational manner. So let's think about it like that as well. We're not humans, so we're not gonna be dealing. Of course, because we are on a human experience, we're gonna have some way of the human way of dealing with it in the essence of just having a bodysuit. But the approach is gonna be on a vibrational level. It's a soulful, spiritual, situation going on, and it's an inner situation. That's another thing. As much as I'm speaking on, again, all these things that's happening outside of you, it's your inner universe that that's manifesting all this. So again, what you doing to program your subconscious to know that it's two sides to one coin? Because a lot of what's going on around us is because a lot of us still hold a mind frame of that it's one side against the other. Is the rich against the poor? Is the light against the dark? Is the black against the white? Is this against that? And it's nothing against nothing. It's just polar opposites. It's two sides to one coin. Once you start to realize more and more that it's nothing against each other, then that vibe starts to, then internally you'll see that, because that's where indecisiveness comes from too, or what some people, what they start terming the bipolar vibe. But it's like indecisiveness is a battle going on inside of you. It's like, good or bad, right or wrong, should I do this? Should I do that? You know what I'm saying? So it becomes a battle, and those battles manifest outside of us, into the situations you seeing going on. But again, to stop though, to help change the situation outside of us, we got to change the situation inside of us. Point blank period. So. Just of course we do physical work, but don't get caught up in the illusion that you have to do outside work to change this world. You'll be inspired by your spirit and higher self to do some physical things, of course, but again, it'll be inspired, coming from inside. In spirit, inspiration. In spirit, inspiration, coming from inside. That's the vibe, and that's where it's gonna come from. Internal, it all starts internal. That's basically it. That's all I have to say about that. I must have drunk about 15 Dr. Peppers. Boy, Forrest. Shout out to Forrest Gump. That's basically it, y'all. Just matter of fact, no. That's it, because I end up turning the closing statement into more, stuff. Which, in essence, I feel like that's what the vibe should be. Going with the flow, like, go to, stop the video, but if some more come out, then some more come out. But that's it, because I feel like, matter of fact, because I'm catching the vibe now, I feel the vibe like, nah, you would be trampling over what you already done if you try to add on. You good. So, peace. Happy now as the vibrates. And also, of course, other than going within, want to stay in the moment. Now is the vibrate. We're not going too far in the future. Don't be so anxious about the future. You're creating the future right now. Be in the moment. Right now is where you're creating the future. And don't go too far in the past. Because we could use the past as a reference to deal with what we're dealing with now, but we're not trying to sit in the past. Because if you sit in the past, then you're not gonna do nothing in the moment. So right now, the vibes. Peace.